Hey, I'm Marco Keach, and I'm here today with Karl Zimmer III, and he is another amazing client of Julianne Turner. And today, he's here to share with us his story, his experience, and what it's like to actually work with Julianne. But not only that, what she's been able to help him do through the time while he's been working with her. So, Karl, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and share your story today. I appreciate it.
Eric, you're welcome.
Okay, so
Appreciate it.
let's kind of just set the stage a little bit so people understand where you're coming from, how you ended up working with her, but what was going on in your life or business or personal at that time that ended up leading you to working with Julianne?
Yeah, well, I had a lot of ideas, but I wasn't taking those ideas to fruition. And I wanted to kind of repackage my brand with all the different things that I was working on and combine them into one brand, Carl Zimmer III, I suppose. Um, and I just felt connected with her spiritually in a sense that we had a lot of the same ideas and beliefs, and felt comfortable that she was going to be able to help me get that accomplished. So,
Okay, and obviously people, I'm curious to know, and I'm sure others will too. Let's just kind of like, what was the brand? Like, what is it that you were trying to bring everything together to do? Like, what was it that the actual thing?
writing, speaking, and then my hypnosis practice was kind of a way for me to build um, kind of experience and also strategies, helping people, teaching people strategies. And hypnosis practice was a way that I was working on that one on one, so that I could build more of what I was going to be able to offer in the speaking and the writing. And I wanted to combine all that, and I'd had an idea for a book as well. And so all those things were just kind of out there in my mind, and then little pieces of them, and I really wanted to bring them together into one package.
Okay, so since you had all those pieces floating around, all these little different things, it was it pulling you in just multiple directions, or you just were like just not 100% clear, or was it a combination of everything?
Well, mostly just being pulled in different directions, but yes, the sense also was that nothing was getting accomplished. I was being pulled in different directions, and I really didn't have a clear sense of what should I really work on, what should I focus my attention on, one at a time, so that then once pieces started getting accomplished, then repackaging them into one brand.
Okay. So obviously you knew there was something there. You're just like you're getting bits and pieces like, okay, this sounds good, this sounds good, this sounds good. But what is that one thing, right? That's basically what you're looking for.
Exactly.
Okay. And then so you were searching for this. You come across Julianne. What
Mhm.
was it that drew you or attracted you to her?
My intuition just said participate in this one call, and it was one of those calls that Julianne does where it's an introductory thing. I went through that, and I just felt connected in the sense that there were a lot of things that she talked about that I believed in, that resonated with me, and my instinct, my intuition just said, sign up. So I did.
Okay. So you signed up. At the time we're talking now, how long is it that you've been working with her for?
About a year.
Okay. And so you signed up, you've been working with her now for about a year. What have you noticed? What changes have you noticed? What differences in life, business, practice, or anything?
Well, my focus became a lot clearer working with her. She has this wonderful strategy that she leads you through this process, and it really helped clarify things, things that had been floating around as ideas, putting them on paper, kind of seeing the flow with the processes that she uses. The clarity just boom, all of a sudden it was there it is. And then it made working through the process so much easier to come up with, okay, here's what to work on, here's what that looks like, here's the next step, and the next step going from A to B to C to D. Everything just became much more clear.
And in that, within that clarity, did you notice? Obviously, you had all these other things out there before. You're trying to figure it out, but did you notice that maybe there was, and correct me if I'm wrong, less of a pressure, less stress in knowing now that you kind of have a clearer path?
Absolutely. Absolutely less pressure, because I think when you're unclear about where to go, there's this internal pressure. All pressure and stress is self-induced. And I think going through the process with Julianne helped relieve a lot of that. And it also, she helped kind of clarify an idea that I might have had that I felt, well, maybe that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Getting an objective view from someone like Julianne, and her especially, helped kind of give a sense of that really is a good idea, and then through the process, how to make that idea really work and become more than just an idea.
So maybe there was a clarification on the intuition, trusting your gut a little bit more too. Once you came up with those ideas, so she'd help you and then kind of say, okay, your gut is telling you the right thing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's always good to get that confirmation, I suppose, from someone trusted, and especially someone who's objective. There's no reason, when a loved one tells you, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea," it may or may not be a great idea, but they're a loved one, and so they're going to tell you that anyway. Someone who's objective, like Julianne, if she says, "No, that really is a great idea," it's well worthwhile to trust that.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
Yeah,
There's always a saying is like the ones who love you the most are also the ones who listen the least in a way, right? Like, so it's the same
yeah.
idea, the same process for it. But now that you've got Julianne in your corner and you're starting to see this clarity, have you noticed that there's more of a flow, that things are moving in an easier direction for you now that you're starting to really put all this together?
Well, absolutely, and that's another aspect of having someone objective to help you through a process like that. So yeah, it really makes everything much easier. Um,
And
yeah.
was this on a business side of things? I'm guessing, right? You talked about hypnotherapy and doing things like that. That's a dollars per hour type of
Mm.
practice, correct?
Yes.
In working with Julianne and shifting some of these things, has it actually helped you not necessarily move away from that, but also see other ways to improve value in certain packages so it's not so much hours for dollars?
Well, absolutely, and I explained a few of the. I gave her some examples of some of the clients I had worked with, and she was able to help me understand that the benefit from, I might have only had two sessions with this one person, for example, but the result of the work that we did and and what was accomplished through those two sessions, the real value of that, and the value, to me, it might have only been 2 hours worth of compensation, but ultimately to the world, kind of the ultimate value of those 2 hours is so much greater. So yes, it gave me a better sense of the value of the work that I've done.
Have you seen business expand or growth because of that?
Yeah, it's and part of it, I mean, you touched on it before. Part of it for me is moving a little bit away from the one-on-one practice. And part of the reason for that is getting a sense of what's the real value. The real value is not in the 2 hours that I might spend with a client. The real value is in what they get to accomplish and how they touch the world from the work that we've done. That's where the real value is. And for me, that's what I want to do more of. I want to empower people. And it's not just the 2 hours that I might spend with someone. It's in empowering them and teaching them resources that they can use and they can teach others how to do. That's where
Right.
the true value
Right.
is.
And you
Yeah.
brought up a good word, empowerment. And I know before we were recording, you'd mentioned something about a book. So books empower
Hmm.
people. Um,
Yep.
and you talked about this before. So did you end up working with Julianne, end up completing a book, writing a book? What happened in that part?
Yeah, I had an idea about 20 years ago, a little more than 20 years ago, about a book that I wanted to write. And it had, I'd worked on it over the course of 20 years, never even got close, had a transcript that I submitted many, many years ago. There were all kinds of reasons why people didn't want to pursue it. And then I had some other ideas about how to tackle it in slightly a different way. And then working with Julianne, she was able to really help me focus on an approach and then the actual process. So once we started working together on that aspect of it, within 3 months, pretty much, of working on that particular aspect with Julianne, the book's now published.
Well, congrats. That's
So
pretty.
thank you.
That's pretty
Yeah, I'm
cool. That's a big
very,
deal.
very exciting. Yeah, very exciting.
Now, obviously, before you had started working with her, right, you had these expectations, and anytime you hire a coach or a mentor or anything, that you're going to see some results. But did you expect the results that you were going to get as fast as you were going to get them?
No, I had never really worked with a coach before. I mean, I've coached others, and it's one of those things: heal or heal thyself, or the cobbler's children wear no shoes. We we know our business, and we're good at putting it out there and helping others. But it's like moms. Moms are great at supporting everybody else, but they don't really take care of themselves very well a lot of times. So it was that kind of thing. I really didn't have much of an expectation, other than that I really trusted the work that we were going to do together and how she was going to help me. And so, yeah, absolutely. I suppose exceeding expectations is the best way to put it, because someone said that, having expectations is the greatest way to be disappointed. So I didn't really have any. I just wanted to go through the process. But when I look back, I could not be happier with the work that she's helped me do.
So would you go as far as say that this has been a life-changing experience for you?
Absolutely, for sure, for sure. Yeah, it's how long do you have to pedal along without making a whole lot of progress, and then all of a sudden you kind of get some assistance from someone who understands the process and is able to help you move farther than you've done in 20 years within a few months. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would say so. That's really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, I just want to shift gears. We just got a few more questions, since obviously you've worked with her now for, at least a year. You've gotten to know her, obviously, not just, she's helping you business-wise, coach, but you've gotten to know her more as a person. And I'm curious to know more about that. So I guess give me a few words or phrases that describe the type of person that she is.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Spiritually connected, trustworthy beyond any, I mean, just no doubt about that. Keeps things confidential when they're appropriately so, So just in terms of all that, when you're working with someone and you're sharing some very personal things, without doubt, just knowing that the conversation that you have is not going any further, and she will offer the best advice, the most objective advice. I don't know, in one term, kind of conciliary, just a, a trust, a trusted advisor in the greatest sense.
So she makes you feel comfortable.
That for sure,
Okay.
absolutely,
And
yeah.
does it? Oh, go ahead.
Well, and it's comfortable, and you can laugh and have a good time, and still make a lot of progress and get some work done. So it's the best of all worlds in that sense.
And for someone to make you feel comfortable, for you to trust them, it sounds like, and this could just be a really silly question, but it sounds like she actually does truly care about you and the success that you are looking to achieve.
There's no doubt about it, and I can hear that in her voice. I can hear that in the voice, and in the way that she comes across, and the words that she uses, the words, and even the words that she doesn't use. It's a matter of just kind of hearing it in the voice, how much she values the relationship, and kind of God, what's the word? It's not coming to me right now, but you just know when she's talking with you that she really cares about your success.
And then I'll leave it on this. Let's say someone is thinking about working with Julianne.
Hmm.
And let's say they're in a similar position, right? They have so many things. They have great ideas. They know they're meant to do something. And they say Julianne sounds perfect, but they're still on the fence. Like they're 50-50. What would you want to say to that person, maybe to kind of nudge them off the fence?
The only things that we ever regret in life are things that we did not do. And if you don't work with Julianne, you will regret that.
Well, Carl,
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you taking the time to come on, share your experience, share your story. I think in the time that you've been working with her, it's been amazing to see how much clarification you have, that things are flowing easier and that you're really just seeing the results that you've always wanted. And I want to wish you the best of luck moving forward.
Eric, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, you take care.
All right. Bye-bye.